And return once more to the world of the living, it would seem. But as I was gone, it has occurred to me that a major oversight has occurred. That is, the fact that we utterly destroyed Darrowwheel left me with little time to analyze him, or what was going on there. But I think if I return to the Everjail and look at the map, a clue might reveal itself. So, off we shall go. And here we are, once more at the Forlorn Hound Everjail, now inactive. If we look at our map as we suggested earlier, we can find that this is where Selen is hiding out. And just to the south over here, we find the area of a Godric soldier encampment, and a most curious prize at its apex. See, right here, there was a royal house scroll. And we were wondering why the Carians might have had some sort of presence here. I think, now that we've had the encounter with Darrowwheel and Blyde at the Everjail, we have our answer. For you see, Blyde's armor was the highest quality suit I'd ever seen, perfectly fitted with silver filigree and refined technique used in its manufacture. His sword was gold-clad, inlaid with runic script, with gems of high-grade, rich, deep, azure coloration, and a leather grip to match their hue. Everything was well-maintained and of extreme quality and luxury amongst his kit, so there could be no doubt about it. Blyde was searching for Darrowwheel, and that is why the royal house scroll was here. He must be some sort of royal enforcer, honored with the greatest equipment money can buy. And Darrowwheel must have been some sort of traitor who broke the bonds of fealty he swore as a knight to the Carian house. It's curious, though. What could cause a loyal hound to turn upon his masters and break his chain? Regardless, I don't know whether he was with a party at some point, or if he was carrying it for some reason and left it behind there by accident. Though Kale did suggest he had trouble finding things, so if Blyde did lose it somehow, it wouldn't be unreasonable to say that it simply must have remained there. It's almost a shame that I couldn't return the Royal House scroll to him. But, well, the fruits of his error shall serve me well. It's also worth noting that because of the fact that we found Blyde as a result of the candle tree, which we took as being a signal of Renna's presence and guidance of us along our path in the Mistwood Forest, this must be a signal of some sort of diplomatic action, intending to make us have a connection with the Carian house, and that there must be some sort of positive relationship between Renna and said house. Most interesting that we're being bought allies as a result of following Renna's instruction. We'll keep that in mind as we find any more Trina lilies in the future. That there might be some sort of advantage to be found by seeking them out and discerning what exactly they're saying. That, at the very least, seems the plausible end of such routes of guidance, in the same way that the guidance of grace would seem to be sending us to mission objectives. Anyhow, we do still have some things to do. In particular, I believe I swore that I would help a certain nobleman win back his traditional seat of office. But before that, we also know that the flask of, what was it? Wondrous physic happens to be more useful if you have more than one of those crystal tears, which we found should be at minor Erdtrees. As such, I have a place that I should probably go before trying to take on an entire castle full of invading forces and reclaiming it for him. There was one in the Mistwoods, I do believe, so that is where we'll be heading. Yes, indeed. Right over yonder. It is a shame that the candle tree cannot be used for guidance more than once. But it is not a matter that we will have to worry about too terribly much. It should be. Oh. One, two. There's a mysterious building here that I'll have to take note of, but before that, I found the minor Erdtree. 3 scarabs. Let's count how many of them there are. 4 scarabs. And a new item, tarnished golden sunflower. 5 scarabs. Is that a 6th one? Excellent. Run away now. Okay. That would appear to be 5 physically inclined scarabs, which make their home around this minor Erdtree. Very curious. I wonder if there's some sort of connection between scarabs and Erdtrees that we'll be able to figure out down the line. Why would they be attracted to such a location? Regardless, we have some items to look at. Large flowers that bloom facing the Erdtree. Materials used for crafting items, found near minor Erdtrees. Despite the fact that they are positioned beside minor Erdtrees, they're pointed towards the actual major Erdtree. Very curious. Though wilted and faded, it still retains holy essence. That seems very thematically resonant. We'll keep that in mind for later. A crystal tier forms slowly over the ages where the Erdtree's bounty falls to the ground. That includes minor Erdtrees, I suppose. Can be mixed in the flask of wondrous physic. The resulting concoction temporarily raises one's maximum stamina. And crystal tier formed slowly over the ages where the Erdtree's bounty falls to the ground. Can be mixed in a flask of wondrous physic, and the resulting concoction increases the power of charged attacks for a certain duration. I don't know whether that will be especially useful as of now, but at the very least, this is something that seems like it will be helpful in my minor physic. So I think I'll implement that. No site of grace nearby, which would be pretty convenient. But regardless... further to the south. Hey there, trap! I'm ignoring you. No. There's no reason to actually kill those demi-humans, really. What's this? More demi-humans in the way. And a message right here. Let's see. Goodness, that is a lot of demi-humans preparing to trap this area. They're almost like bandits seeking to kill anyone who would cross the road. Wonder why that might be. Let's see what this message says. Open for business. Someone used... Oh, a merchant. That is good to know. And I see their fire right over here. I didn't know that the merchants could leave those signs like the tarnished do.
Welcome, dear customer. Yes, right this way. Right this way.
Hello there, gloam-clad merchant. What have you for me?
Welcome, valued customer. Come, trade in our wandering emporium. Please, buy something. I'm hungry. I've been hungry so long. Please?
Gloam black and silver, actually. I wonder if there's a reason why these colors are being associated. 1800. Ah, a follower of Saint Trina. Curious. And this has a similar mist. Ah, yes. Saint Trina's arrows, carved to resemble a withered water lily. Saint Trina's lily. Afflicts the target with a powerful sleep effect. Priests of Saint Trina use these arrows to spread their teachings. The sweet oblivion of sleep can become quite the habit. I think I can understand why. I will take one of these. Attempts an invasion of another player's world. A festering bloody finger. It seems to have horns crawling from the wound that was inflicted there. Strange and curious. Blackened with blood congestion. I imagine that blood would get in congestion if you have horns growing in it. Very, very strange. A record of crafting techniques left by a roaming nomadic warrior for surviving in the face of utter scarcity. beast lure pot sounds like it would be very useful for preventing yourself from being killed by those giant bears. Good thing that this is the location that it's being sold in. And this one has exalted flesh. I would like to be able to read the description of those. I'll have to find some way to get some extra money. But first, small wooden round shield that has been reinforced with metal. It's light and easy to handle, but cannot offer the damage negation of a true metal shield. The design riveted into the center represents a sword and a tree. The sword, we shall note, is the horizontal crossbar. Yes, it looks like a cross and like a sword. But also, the tree that is being featured is a most intriguing one, where you can see a shape of the roots coming down on one side being mirrored compared to the opposite side, which is the bow. Now, why would those be pictured as virtually the same? Very much worth noting. I'll take it to remind myself later. And this has a design of the Erdtree represented against the blue sky. This one, we'll notice, doesn't actually have that same mirroring that this one does. This features the design of a sword and a tree. This features the design of the Erdtree. The Erdtree has golden boughs up above in the air, reaching out against the horizon in every direction, and even has that secondary canopy that we can see that doesn't have leaves. But we don't see any roots down below. I wonder what that's about. Oh wait, we actually know. See, the Erdtree used to be connected to the roots of the Great Tree Network. But not anymore. Once linked to those of the Erdtree, it has now been bereaved of those same roots, it would seem. So what's going on with the Erdtree if its roots have been disconnected with a greater tree network that we can tell is clearly reaching out across the lands between, since we can find these on normal trees? Not even just in the catacombs. It seems like something that might make a giant tree wilting and sick. Fading, one might say, despite the fact that it retains its holy essence. Can get rid of most of these roa fruit. That brings us up a significant amount. I have no reason to keep this dung. Mushrooms I'll keep. Let's see. Can get rid of one of these. Ah, good. I have one of these too many. And far too many of these. Glorious bounty we have received. Interesting, interesting. Did I look at this? Ancient dragons ruled in prehistoric era before the Erdtree. We must remember there was a before the Erdtree, and that dragons ruled over the land during this time. And they would protect their lord as a wall of living rock. Who is the lord of the dragons? We don't know. So it has become the case that the shape of the dragon is symbolic of all manner of protections, such as this one, which protects from fire by depicting a red ancient dragon. We still don't have enough to get both of those items that we would really rather like. But I'll take this one. And I'll buy this one. Commonly known as a hatchet, this smaller variety of axe is also an everyday work tool. Despite its short reach, it is easy to handle and excels in successive attacks. I'll come back when I have more. Thank you, not Kale. Exalted flesh I should probably look at as well, since I have the ability to craft it now. A lump of animal flesh pickled in a medicinal solution mixed with fiery spices. Craftable item. Temporarily boosts physical attack. Considered a delicacy in the Badlands, this invigorating repast was for the exclusive benefit of those who they deem heroes. I wonder why red flesh would be limited to the use of heroes. Red fiery flesh. Well, let's make at least one of those. And all 4 of these. And here we go. But before engaging there, I saw another little bit of shining gold over here. And I'll have to talk to that phantasm as well. O Spirit, what wisdom have you to share? The demi-humans racks wrath now that the mother's been taken. Where are you, Lord Kenneth? The night, bedeviled by blood. Well, that would explain why they were on the path there. They don't want any reinforcements approaching this place. Very understandable. This castle, as we approach, is already in a state of siege. I really ought to actually mix that physic, though, rather than just collecting it and not doing anything. There it goes. Stamina. Let us avenge their mother, then. dear, oh dear. Their numbers can be significantly more impactful than any one soldier by itself can be, madness-stricken as they are. Oh, that soldier might be a slightly different story. Hello, hello. What? A javelin? Sanctuary stone. And a golden seed. Let's take a moment to think this through. Golden seed found at the base of an illusory tree. Increases sacred flasks. Number of uses can be used while resting at a site of grace. When the Elden Ring was shattered, these seeds, which grow illusory trees, flew from the Erdtree, scattering across various lands as if life itself knew that it had come to an end. As such, we can tell the difference. See, that minor Erdtree over there, to the left, is covered with golden flowers and leaves, perhaps, but it actually has solid wood. That tree is an illusion. The Erdtree, stripped of its roots, has been disconnected from the world itself in some manner, and only a false light remains, pretending as if it were still a tree of life, and still strangely sending seeds out. So there is a mixture of imagination and reality going on. Perhaps the faith that people have in it allows it to cling to some sort of image of livelihood. And its grace still sends us on these journeys. So there is some admixture of falsehood and tangibility going on. And let me see. There's solidity in the illusion. We'll keep that in mind, despite the fact that it is a false trunk we're seeing. There's still reason enough to consider it not a matter to be trifled with. There's power still in the Erdtree, despite the lack of roots. Oh. I forgot. No extra healing juice. And that, I do believe, would be their mother. You see, another demi-human there. Oops. Body ends there. Very long neck on this demi-human. Very large legs. Relatively narrow hips, strangely enough. She must give birth to young, relatively unprepared. So I can't go in there with Torrent. I can, however, call wolves to my aid. Oh, new flowers. Oh. a third hidden bombardier! I think I've got a key to the strategy going into my mind. We must take it bottom up. Eliminate all the targets low down first. And then we will make it all the way to the top. It delayed its attack! Thank you, but goodbye. I'll just allow them to fight it out on their own terms. Okay. This is not the greatest start. My goodness, were there really so many rats? Now, brave Sir Knight. Ash of War, bloody slash. Oh, now that we have a bloody chance to take a breath, we'll actually look at that. But first, I see there are, most interestingly, some corpses around here. That man was a sorcerer also, loyal to the Lord of Blood, and yet he was sacrificed along with the rest. Dead before we even arrived. Time for treasure chest, it says. Ah, I see. it really was appreciable having these dogs to back me up. I don't know what I would have done if I didn't have the ability. And apparently they're teleporting dogs. Goodness gracious. And what is in this Erdtree chest? Dectus medallion. Platforms on the way down if we want to go faster. Oh well. Won't worry about that. And I remember there was something over here, yes. Smithing stones are not bad. Should be a man on the ballista still, except it's not a ballista. Oh, my enthusiastic hounds. Okay. What are these? Smoldering butterflies, I see. Huh. These spears and shields bear pockmarks as if eaten away by something. Curious. Commoner's shoes. No, I need to make sure that I have everything before I look at them. Very curious once again that the rats provide... golden runes. Another member of the Lord of Blood's cult, and yet slaughtered like the rest. Lots of bloody flowers around here beyond the blood roses as well. Yes, quite some large ones that have these red impression to them. Great big six-pointed red flowers pointing to the Lord of Blood. Okay, I believe there's only one place left to check. That would be in here. And here we are. A cross-legged man sitting amidst this blood-festering pit. And the cross-legged man has a nomadic warrior's cookbook. Blood grease. Drawstring blood grease. Blood-bone arrow. Blood-bone arrow fletched. Blood-bone bolt. A record of crafting techniques left by the roaming nomadic warriors who are also merchants. I wonder why one of them happened to have left their information here amongst these bloodthirsty fellows. I wonder if it's that person outside. Modest shoes made of cloth. Standard wear for commoners in the lands between. Only... there are no commoners remaining with their wits about them. So it's neither the commoners nor the knights that are actually sane nowadays. Kindling for a number of items, as you might expect. Sacred flask of tears, modeled after the golden holy chalice that was once graced by a tear of blessing. I know that chalice. Sacred tears were inside of those. And not just once blessed. You can still find those sacred tears at churches. Filled with crimson tears, this flask restores HP with use. Though currently empty, simply rest at a site of grace to replenish. That is interesting. That has a changed description based on the fact that I drank all of them. The one washed up on a grave site was sure to die until this flask offered his gift of rejuvenation to seek the Elden Ring. This Ash of War grants an armament the Blood Affinity, and the following skill. Bloody Slash. Blood Oath skill granted by the Lord of Blood. So that knight must have sworn an oath to the Lord of Blood, and thereby found power. Interesting that oaths can grant strength in this way. From a low stance, coat the blade in your own blood to unleash rending bloody slash in a wide arc, usable on swords, with the exception of colossal weapons. Sanctuary stones, a rare piece of stone fragments found near places where ruins have fallen from the sky, material used for crafting items. It feeds and strengthens the light as it shines. So, this was found inside of one of those pumpkin heads, and I don't know why they would have one of them. Unless, of course, it's to prevent them from being terrified while they have to deal with that gargantuan helmet that probably lets no light in whatsoever. They have night lights. I don't know what use that would be, but it is somewhat amusing at the very least and worth taking note of. And finally, Dectus Medallion. Left half of a split medallion depicting the Erdtree. And in the tree's center, we have a mote of golden amber. Brandishing this medallion with both halves conjoined will activate the Grand Lift of Dectus, connecting the Atlas Plateau to Liurnia. The right half is said to reside in Fort Feroth in the Dragon Barrow, far to the east. It must be beyond this red section, since we can't see any forts over here. I'll keep that in mind. So, this is actually a pretty defensible place. You have these funny little barricades that were actually moved out of the way for some reason when they should be closer to the gate. But other than that, you have this very, very effective means of preventing any person from getting anywhere close without having to face the wrath of your archers or, in this case, bombardiers. And that's either the case if they want to reach the top, or if they want to reach this inner chamber over here. Which is very, very nice. I appreciate it when castles have sensible designs intended for proper defense. Which explains, of course, why we had so much trouble here. This poor woman, though. Ugly as she may seem to me, she is a mother. Is now bereaved of life, leaving her children incensed and desirous of revenge. Such a shame. Such a thing should not happen. I am curious what these tattoos upon her are intended to represent, though. Can't really make out too terribly much. Maybe we'll find something similar at some later date and be able to properly analyze them. Regardless, it now remains for us to meet up with our dear friend Kenneth Haight once again. And there you are, Mr. Kenneth Haight. Hello once more.
I've been waiting for you with bated breath. Did you manage to recapture my fort?
That I did.
Excellent news. Just wonderful. And the knight's dead to boot.
Indeed.
Well done, my friend. Well done indeed. I knew I was right to trust you. Now, here's your reward, as promised. Go ahead. It's all yours.
My sincerest thanks, Kenneth Haight. It has been a pleasure working with you. Have anything more you would like to say before I depart?
Right then. Time for me to head to the fort. I've much to do. First, I'll have to re-establish communication with the demi-humans. What's that look? You don't believe me? Well, under the Erdtree, commingling with the demi-humans is made possible. Even the vulgar shall not be left behind, under the rule of true order. Which is why I, Kenneth Haight, next in line as the rightful ruler of Limgrave, have sworn to uphold it. Just you watch, my friend. Just you watch.
That is a most noble sentiment, Mr. Haight. I bid you good luck with that. Their mother has been slain, and I should imagine it shall be a very difficult battle, winning back their trust after that. But should you succeed, all the more a glorious thing it will have been. Until then, farewell. Boars are hefty beasts, aren't they? But let's take stock. We found that the Lord of Blood is working in conjunction with Godric's knights. We found that Godric seems to actually have no concern over such a thing, and is even, in fact, willing to replace the rightful lord of his castles with such a knight, despite the fact that knights are significantly more lowly on the aristocratic totem pole than a proper lord. We find... let's see... there is, at the very least, a good reason to consider that he might, therefore, be in alliance with... oh! Not only the men of the North, but also wherever the Lord of Blood is hiding out. If, of course, the Carian are not themselves loyal to the Lord of Blood. Which very well may be the case. I cannot know as of now. But, regardless, we are in a situation where we can begin to look at what Godric's political alliances are, and this shall be most important, I think, to properly understanding the state of the world that we are in. After all, if we intend to become Elden Lord, we will require allies of our own. And we will require the ability to properly navigate the politics of this world, whether it be by force or finesse. And so... no! So it is good that we find at least a little hint of the blood grafting alliance. Perhaps in the coming days we'll be able to find more information about such matters. And perhaps other alliances which Godric might have as well. In the meantime, I think I will stop by the place that a strange and mysterious ally came to greet us at the very start of our journey. There you are, my bloody-fingered friend. Have anything you would like to tell us?
It's time you set off, I should think. To Castle Stormvale on the cliff, where grace would guide you. If you seek the Elden Ring, maidenless as you are.
I suppose sometime I should. But regardless, White Mask Vare, I'll be keeping an eye on you. Maybe one day we'll be able to see behind that mask and understand your allegiances. At the very least, though, we did see some bloody fingers earlier on in that shop. Something to think about as we pass on once more into the great beyond. One day, sometime soon, I shall return again.